Bitcoin and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill. We are entering a completely world of uncharted water.
Do you think Bitcoin will be disruptive in that way?
I think it's primarily going to be a means of doing illegal transactions.
I think it makes sense to support something that improves the quality of information with which we conduct the economy. And Bitcoin is a candidate for that. In general, I'm a supporter of Bitcoin and the idea of cryptocurrency in general.
If the price of Bitcoin doesn't go to $1 million by 2020...
I will eat my member, yes.
You will eat your own
Eat my and
right
eat it
away.
raw like I eat sushi.
It isn't that you, John McAfee, want to eat your own It's that you believe in the power of Bitcoin, so much so that you'll put your on the table, chop it up, put it in your mouth, swallow. If Bitcoin does not...
If it doesn't reach at least $1 million by the end of 2020.
Nobody will use Bitcoin anymore. It's old, clunky, slow, expensive, with zero privacy. Nobody uses it. It's a piece of shit.
Bitcoin's days are numbered. It seems like just a matter of time before it suffers the same fate as online gambling.
Like Bitcoin's the most certain thing in a very uncertain world. Whenever I have some spare cash, we buy more Bitcoin. I'll be buying at the top forever.
You think this is a currency that's really going to work eventually?
Well, I think it is working. There's a big industry around Bitcoin.
The asset itself is creating nothing.
I think it's a scumball activity. I think it's rat poison.
Do you understand what they're trying to do with it?
No, but I regard it as deeply flaky.
I would short it if there was an easy way to do it.
You're saying they're all wrong?
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, look, not everybody is right all the time, and I think we have to acknowledge that we all have biases. And look, I'm a disciple of Buffett and Munger, and one of the things that they have said for years, which I believe, is you define a circle of competence and you stay within it. And I think it's been clear in his entire investing career that technology is not in his circle of competence. And so the only technology name that he's owned is Apple. I mean, you could claim that IBM was a technology company. That's borderline.
It's out of that. That didn't work anyway.
Some people have said, hey, Bitcoin is the answer to those problems. Are you a believer?
Well, Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency.
It is a useless currency. It is a useless currency. That's what I believe. To me, it's garbage. The best way to look at this is a proxy for the mistrust individuals have of central bankers. If you're willing to take Bitcoin as a currency, a virtual Barbie currency to me, it has no basis, no central banker, no hard asset behind it. But if you don't trust any other currency, this is where you go. So essentially what's happening here, Heather, people all around the world are saying, I've had it with my central banker. I don't trust politicians anymore. I'm going to trade with this currency with my computer and my cell phone. But is it here to stay? Oh, yeah. So will I take 2 or 3% in Bitcoins? I think I might start to dabble, a little dabble-do-you in Bitcoin. It's worthless. I believe that. This is just ether. Is this a nothing burger? It's not even a single-cell amoeba. It's still garbage.
Crypto crap, garbage.
Garbage is better than garbage.
Right.
He keeps saying accoutrement. He's got this
He's got the accoutrement, he's got the garbage.
I think a little colorful language is necessary when discussing Bitcoin. And I'm not going to take real money and put it into this thing. It's never going to happen.
The spigots of capital are going to flood into this sector like you've never seen. And so for those of us that can invest in it now, you're getting ahead of what's going to be a huge wave of interest when policy occurs. I predict in the next 10 years that crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin, all of this innovation will be the 12th sector of the S&P.
This market doesn't produce even more tulips. I mean, let's say it was that analogy. But you can't find supply, so they have to reach until supply is felt. But that's not investment. That's just poor mechanics of an instrument. Remember, this is one of the least functional markets I've ever seen. I'm all for it. I think it's almost irresponsible not to include it. Every treasurer should be going to boards of directors and saying, should we put a small portion of our cash in Bitcoin? It seems to be an interesting way to hedge against the rest of the environment. Nice hedge against fiat currency. I own Bitcoin. I've owned Bitcoin for some time. All I know is I think it's an alternative to having a cash position where you make absolutely nothing. And do I like it? It doesn't matter whether you like it. It's not about liking. It's worth what people are paying for.
Bitcoin is worth what somebody will pay for it. Did you ever see someone who collected baseball cards and they were really, really, really proud of their baseball cards because they kept on saying they were going to go up in price? Comic books, same thing, even artwork. There's no real intrinsic value. You can't eat a baseball card or shouldn't eat a baseball card. Your artwork might look good on the wall, but not much you can do with it. Bitcoin, there's even less you can do with it. It's only worth what somebody will pay for. I'd rather have bananas. I can eat bananas.
I'm rooting. I want Bitcoin to go down a lot further so I can buy some more. What do you think about gold? Like, would you buy gold as an investment?
I have gold.
Okay.
Everybody likes to.
You know what? If you have gold, you're dumb as fuck. But you and your ownership, you don't own the gold bar. And if everything went to hell in a handbasket and you had a gold bar, you know what would happen? Someone would beat the fuck out of you or kill you and take your gold bar. When you own gold, all you own is a digital transaction. It's a store of value. That's the term for it, a store of value. So people perceive that there's value associated with gold and there's value associated with Bitcoin.
But we tie our money to, Apple makes something. As Warren Buffett said, it's just really about having something that you can sell to somebody else that has absolutely no value, and then it's their problem. So it is.
But that's a share of stock in like 90% of the companies out there. Bitcoin, gold is a store of value, and so is Bitcoin.
That is an apt analogy. I can't deny that.
Do I need to spell this out? There is something inherently not credible about creating hundreds of billions in virtual wealth with nothing ever actually being accomplished and no actual product made or service rendered. It's like Tinkerbell's light. Its power source is based solely on enough children believing in it.
The idea that money is an idea is not wrong.
No, it's right.
Don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No, I don't believe any client has sought out crypto exposure. I can tell you it worldwide. I have not heard from one client who said, I need to be in this.
More and more global investors are asking us about the role of crypto. And as I said, I do believe a lot of crypto is going to be, it's an international asset. It has a differentiating value versus other asset classes, but more importantly, because it's so international, it's going to transcend any one currency and currency evaluation. If you just look at the value of our dollar, how it depreciated the last two months, and how much it appreciated over the last 5 years, I mean, an international crypto product can really transcend that. And that's why we believe there's great opportunities, and that's why we're seeing more and more interest. And that interest is broad-based worldwide.
For a long time, you were a skeptic of Bitcoin and some cryptocurrencies, but you recently appear to have changed your mind about that. What happened?
If you own cash in the world today, you know your central bank has an avowed goal of depreciating its value 2% per year. We're watching the birthing of a store of value. My children don't even carry cash. They barely even know what cash is. The digitization of the world clearly benefits Bitcoin. I've got just over 1% of my assets in Bitcoin. It may end up being the best performer of all of them. I kind of think it might be. Every day that goes by and Bitcoin survives, the trust in it will go up.
I think at some point figure out when this is going to end and then either get out or go short. Because, by the way, when this ends, and it will, I'm talking about this monetary radicalism period we're in, Bitcoin will probably go down with the rest of the stuff.
I'm a bit of a dinosaur, but I have warmed up to the fact that Bitcoin could be an asset class that has a lot of attraction to it as a store of value. It's been around for 13 years, and with each passing day, it picks up more of its stabilization of a brand. So I own many, many more times gold than I own Bitcoin. But frankly, if the gold bet works, the Bitcoin bet will probably work better because it's thinner and more liquid and has a lot more beta to it.
Governments are going to crush it one day. Governments like to know where the money is, who has it, and what you're doing with it. And in case you haven't noticed, okay? And governments like to control their currency, like to control their own economy.
Can it be taken over? The fact is that the Bitcoin network runs at 120 quintillion calculations per second right now. To give you an idea how big a number that is, if you were to add up every grain of sand on every beach in the world, it's about 7 quintillion. So Bitcoin's running at 120 quintillion calculations per second. It's the biggest distributed computer network ever in history. And the cost of taking it over is beyond the reach of any government. And it's beyond the reach of any group of governments. There is no entity or group of entities that have the computer power or the money to attack Bitcoin in any meaningful way, which makes it indestructible, immutable, uncensorable, and unconfiscatable as well, which is an attribute that a lot of people are waking up to, because it's not the same with gold. Gold is not unconfiscatable, and certainly fiat money is not unconfiscatable either.
When I made that stupid statement, which got all the thing, I called it fraud, my daughter sent me an email saying, "Dad, I own 2 Bitcoins." My formerly smart daughter.
It is a huge deal. It's a huge, huge, huge deal. It's being used everywhere where you would think it would be used. Russia, Iran, Iraq, Egypt, Venezuela, Argentina, everywhere where you have currency pressure, everywhere where you want to basically shield your assets. You're talking about trillions of dollars up for grabs. Up for grabs, right? And it's just about trying something.
Right.
And taking a few months to understand what the opportunity is and then hit the scene. This is the time where people should be trying really big, crazy things.
Bitcoin is my safe word.